Hey guys, welcome to Grow and Be Fruitful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment on my videos by the end of this month, March 2022, and you'll be entered into a chance to win $50 in gift certificates. Check out the information about that in the description below. Today, I want to show you a technique I learned last year. I'm using again this year because it's just a great option in the garden. There's all kinds of possibilities that come up. It is growing vegetables and flowers in a hay bale. So we're going to take a look at that today, and I'm going to show you two ways that I'll be doing it this year. The first method is what I call a hay bale planter, or you could call it a hay bale raised bed. So what you're doing here, you're taking hay bales and you are putting them in the shape of a square. This takes 4 hay bales and you just line them up here in the shape of a square. Which leaves a nice hole on the inside. And that's about 18 inches to 2 feet, so 18 to 24 inches deep. In that you can fill with soil, garden soil. You can fill in the bottom with like some mulch or some wood chips, that kind of thing, and then just fill the top maybe 6 to 12 inches with good soil and compost and that sort of thing. And now what we're going to do with this is we're going to jump start the decomposition of the hay that's going to create a beautiful growing medium inside the hay. So there's 2 ways that you can do this. One, if you're short on time, you can add a lot of nitrogen and water on the hay bales, and that will begin to cause the inside of the hay bale to decompose, which is actually going to warm it up, and it's going to make a nice, rich, fertile growing medium on the inside. Then you're going to plant your plants directly in that. So you're going to need a few weeks to get that going if you really water it every day and put fertilizer on it. Now that's if you want to get it ready really quickly. This year I'm trying something new that I put these hay bales out here several months in advance, and so I'm letting nature sort of do the work for me. I've been adding a little bit of nitrogen fertilizer to the top of the hay bales, but mostly I've just been letting the rain wet the bales according to nature's schedule, and that's causing that decomposition to take place. And then of course you just add your soil to the inside. So this actually gives you 2 different ways to grow in this planter. You can plant your vegetables right into the hay bale. And I did this last year. It worked great for watermelon, grew peppers, beans, carrots, cabbage, lettuce, cantaloupe. What else did I grow? Oh, pumpkins, winter squash. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can grow right in the hay bales. And then of course in the middle you have this wonderful space to grow in the soil, directly in the soil. So you can grow all kinds of stuff. One of these hay bale planters is just an excellent thing that you can grow all kinds of stuff. You can grow potatoes, sweet potatoes in that. And then at the end of the growing season, this will last from early spring all the way through the end of your fall planting. And by the time you get to the end of your growing season, these hay bales will begin to really break down. And so after the end of the season, you just tear it apart, and then you have a wonderful compost that you can use in other places in your garden, or you can convert it to an in-ground growing plot. So this plot right here last year was full of these hay bale planters, and because the soil in the ground here is not very good, so I put hay bale planters all through this area. And then at the end of the season, I broke all of those hay bale planters down, mixed them in, tilled them in with the natural soil that's here in this area, and it turned it into this wonderful in-ground bed. So there's all kinds of options. You know, this may not be the most economical way to grow food, because you're going to get basically one season out of those hay bales. And you know, each hay bale may cost you between $5 and $10, just depending on prices and where you live. So it's not necessarily the cheapest way to do things, unless, of course, you have a source of cheap or free hay bales. Then it'd be a great cheap way to do it. But it's a long-term investment, because I feel like all of this is going to turn into a garden bomb that's going to explode at the end of the season and be full of wonderful compost that is just really going to enrich your soil, and you can use it in all kinds of ways. So this is one way that I grew last year, and you can grow just in a bale, one single bale by itself, or you can arrange them in a planter formation like this, which is what I really liked doing last year. Now let me show you another idea that I'm going to try this year. Here we have my pea teepee. That's what I call it, my pea teepee. And all it is it's hay bales that are arranged in a circular formation. And then I just took some sticks and small saplings from my wooded area of my yard, and I made this little teepee out of them. And the idea here is I'm going to plant some vining things like red ripper peas, sweet potatoes, black-eyed peas, cream peas, and I'm going to add some flowering plants as well, some flowering vines as well. And just imagine that's all going to grow up this teepee, and in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, my hope is that this entire teepee is just going to be covered with vegetation, flowers, and that teepee is going to provide the scaffolding for those vining plants to grow up. And these hay bales are going to be covered in flowers and vegetation, so it's going to be a beautiful thing. And then of course you can actually go inside the teepee and you can pick, you know, imagine green beans covering this, and you can just go inside and you can pick your green beans from the inside while you're in the shade. So that'll be a cool thing. But that's growing directly in those hay bales. So that's a new thing I'm trying this year, and I'll keep up with my channel and see how that turns out this season. So that's how you grow in a hay bale, and it just brings all kinds of options to you. And maybe that's something that you want to try out this year. Part of gardening is experimenting and trying new things and learning new things. So that's something that I did last year, really enjoyed it, and I'm going to do it again this year.